Okay, so let's work with chakra 6. Or chakra 5, actually. All right, so let's take the block between the knees and the thighs. Standing with the feet open to about the width of the hips. From here, pressing into the inner blades of the feet, rolling the shoulders down and back. Let's lift the chin, noticing that we can look up with the eyes, gazing to where the wall meets the ceiling, and then maybe lifting the chin just a little higher. So allowing the neck and the head to track in response to our gaze. And we call this Drishti, our focal point. From here, shifting the eyes again, maybe shifting the eyes up towards the ceiling tiles this time. Then allowing the chin to lift, opening up through the throat, lifting through the head and the neck. The more we lift the chin, the more we may want to think about reaching down with our hands, pinky fingers reaching towards the back heels or edges of the feet. Lifting the head and shifting the gaze, perhaps even a little more. Let's keep our knees soft while we squeeze into the yoga block, shifting forward and back in the soles of the feet. Shifting forward, lightening up on the heels. When you're ready, look down and then track with the head looking down towards the floor. Let's inhale, sweeping both arms back and around, reaching towards the sky. Exhale, sweeping the right arm down, pressing the palm of the hand into the thigh and reaching for the outside of the foot. Shift the weight over into the left foot. Continue to squeeze into that block. As you inhale, breathe into the upper left lung and reach a little more. Without moving the head, shift both eyes towards the left temple and then move the head in alignment with your gaze, looking towards the inside of your left elbow and forearm, or maybe looking up, both with the gaze, the head, and the neck, looking towards the fingertips. Breathe into the upper left lung and reach. Exhale, sweep the arm back and around, pressing the palm in towards the thigh. Let's center the body. Inhale, sweeping both arms straight up overhead. Keeping the chin neutral, let's shift our eyes to neutral, and then lift the head and the neck to neutralize with the gaze. Reaching up a little more with the right hand. Let's sweep our left hand down and around, pressing the left palm into the thigh and reaching with the fingertips towards the outer edge of the foot. Shifting over into the outer edge of the right foot now. Inhaling into the upper right lung while reaching, opening up through the armpit. Shifting our eyes without moving our head, shift the eyes only to the right temple. And now lift with the chin, head and neck, looking to the inside of the right arm or looking up at the fingertips. Big inhale into the upper right lung with a reach. Exhale, sweep the hand back and around, both hands coming down to the thighs. Neutralizing the spine, inhale both arms back, up and around. Let's look down at the floor, looking down both with the gaze and also bowing the chin down. Shifting the eyes only to neutral, and then lifting the head to neutral. Shifting forward and back in the feet. Coming to a still point with the heels light, slightly lifted. It might be enough to swipe a credit card, it might be even less. From here, let's shift our gaze up to where the wall meets the ceiling, and then lift the chin in alignment with the gaze. Inhale into both of the upper lungs and the center chest while reaching to the sky and stretching the sides of your armpits. Big inhale. Drop the heels. Exhale, swan dive. Arms go out to the side. Tailbone presses back. Hands come down to the thighs. Moving into a standing cat and cow with the hands secure on the thighs, we can pull the elbows in. And as we inhale, continue to flip your hips back with the tailbone lengthening to the back wall, pressing into the thighs so that we pull the ribs up and forward. Press the shoulders away from the ears this time. Lifting through the chin, head and neck elongated, Big inhale. Exhale, drop the chin. Relax through the upper body. We might want to stay where we are with the body at a 90-degree angle. Or you could even have the head higher than the heart, shoulders and heart higher than the hips. The position with the head higher than the heart and heart higher than the hips prevents this from being an inversion. So if you've been to a doctor and they say avoid pressure in the upper head or avoid inversions, you might want to stay here. Let's take a deep breath. Either holding here or exhale, drop your head, neck, and chest towards the thighs, feeling as if the crown of the head is lengthening down towards your feet. Bring the chin in towards the chest just slightly, maybe even imagining that the forehead is moving in towards your knees, forehead moving in towards the shins, crown of the head lengthening down towards the feet. Big exhale from the throat. One more. When you're ready, bend the knees. Let's take our block away from the knees, placing it in the most upright position where we are able to put both hands onto that yoga block. Let's step 1 foot back, casual stride, bending both knees, coming down into a kneeling lunge. Taking both hands on either side of that block, sweeping the other foot back. From here, we can press our hips back towards our heels and maybe lower the head down between the arms towards the floor, allowing the body to find a supported expression of child's pose. Inhaling, shifting forward. From here, let's take the block between the knees and the thighs, either staying with the palms of the hands flat, starfish hands, or make a fist, and on the flat part of the knuckles, you would turn the thumbs forward and then use the flat part of the knuckles for weight bearing. From here, your toes can be tucked under or untucked. I recommend tucking the toes under just for today. From here, as we inhale, let's flip the hips back. Bend the elbows, noticing if the elbows go out to the side, we want to pull them back and in so that the elbows are bending back towards the thighs. From this crouching cow position, begin to straighten the arms, keep the weight shifted forward so that we feel pressure going either straight down into our hands or straight down into the knuckles. Lift the chin, open the throat, press the shoulders towards the hips, away from the ears, holding in our expression of cow. Breathe into the center of the chest. Exhale in place. One more big inhale. Exhale, pull the navel to the spine and round the spine. Coming into cat, drop the head, untuck the toes. From here, start to press the hips back, release that block off to the side, and extend both arms straight ahead. Traditional child's pose. From traditional child's expression, let's walk both hands over to the right edge of our yoga mat. Maybe even take the hands off of the mat and onto the floor. We can turn our head slightly to the left. Maybe bring the head to neutral, and then turn the head just slightly to the right. Coming to center, let's walk both hands to neutral. One inhale, one exhale to reset. Walking the hands over to the left edge or left side of our yoga mat. Pausing for a moment to find the breath, turning our head slightly to the right, and then to neutral, slightly to the left, and to neutral. Walking the hands to center. One inhale, one exhale to reset. Shifting forward just a little bit. Our next stretch, making it less about weight bearing in the hands and more about stretching through the backs of the knees and feet. We can always come down onto our elbows. This is a great way to take all pressure off of the wrist and hands. So you can stay on your hands or come onto the elbows. Let's tuck both our toes under. Stretch the right leg back, keeping the toe on the yoga mat or on the floor. Push down into your hands or your elbows so that you're pushing down and forward with the arms, pushing back through the heel, accentuating that stretch on the back of your right leg. Take a deep breath in and then exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, draw the right knee into neutral. Again, both toes tucked under. Let's slide the left leg back, keeping the foot on the floor, toe tucked under. Push back into the left heel, and then accentuate that stretch by pressing down and forward into the arms or elbows. One inhale, bigger exhale. One inhale, draw the left knee in. Both knees are in close to the body. Let's walk the hands in close. Maybe use the yoga block again. Both hands secure either on the floor or on the top of the block. Let's tuck our toes under, stepping one foot forward, finding the kneeling lunge position. Shifting forward so that we're able to press straight down into the block. We're tucking our back toe, pushing back into the heel while we shift forward to lift the knee. Activating muscles on the inner thigh, the pelvis, and legs. Let's step our other foot forward, finding a forward fold. Come up with the yoga block and walk the feet into the width of your pelvis bones. Stepping the left foot back, both legs are straight as we reach the block up overhead. Inhaling, opening up the throat and reaching towards the sky. Exhale, bend the front knee and pull the block in towards your chest. Keeping the block in your left hand, let's open up to a chest expansion, turning the thumbs down and then pressing back, grabbing a hold of the sides of the block. If you know that you're working on your alignment in your shoulders and arms, maybe work on gripping the block with your wrist and the heel of the hand. Instead of bringing it here where there's more of an angle or more pressure into the wrist, you could always press into the heel and the wrist and work on straightening out the arms. And this is just a different way to work with some muscles in the body. From here, let's keep the right leg straight, just a small bend in the knees for healthy circulation. Breathe into the chest, big inhale. Exhale, slowly shift forward, pushing down really hard into that left heel. Pausing when we find that we've lowered down, maybe just a third or a quarter of the way. Practicing moderation in this stretch. Inhale into the chest, think of lifting the heart, and continue to press that block back behind the body. This is a little bit of a workout on the low back, the shoulders, and other parts of the spine. From here, let's bend our front knee. Shift forward, peeling up that left heel with the right knee bent. Maybe bend the left knee as well, so both knees are getting low for a safe center of gravity. We can hold it right here as we continue to work with balance and shifting more weight bearing into that right leg. You are welcome to maybe lift that left foot off the floor. Another option is to take the block around onto the top of the right thigh, lift the chest, and then work on lifting that back leg. So depending on the arm position, that might make lifting the leg feel a little easier. No matter where you are with this, lower that back leg, keeping the left leg back, having our block on our thigh. Let's keep the block on the thigh, secure with the right hand. Inhale, take the left arm up. Turn the left heel in so that we turn to face the long edge of our mat. From here, let's circle that left arm back and bring the hand into your low back. Lowering down our forearm onto the block. We're using the block on top of the right leg to keep space inside of the vertebral column. So what can happen sometimes is if we don't have this block, we reach down like this and it compromises our posture. We're using the block so that we can push counter pressure into it, and it'll keep our spine nice and long, stronger spine. Keeping the gaze straight towards the wall or towards the exit door, head and neck are neutral. Only shift the eyes towards the left temple. From here, on the next inhale, let's turn our chin in the direction of our gaze. Inhaling, drawing the left shoulder back a little more of a twist. Option to inhale, releasing the left arm, reaching it out from the shoulder joint. Maybe turning the left palm up towards the ceiling, and then maybe taking that left arm straight up towards the sky. Push into the block. Contract your left shoulder towards your left hip. Inhale into the upper left lung, big breath. And now exhale, left hand down to the left hip. From here, let's push off our block. Take the block into both hands. Swivel the right toe forward. Staying where we are. We could always keep the feet where they are, or naturally, intuitively, if there's an impulse to go wider, go ahead and do that. The wider the legs are, it will put more pressure onto the hip and possibly the back. So that's my only disclaimer for consideration here. From wherever you are with this, watching me first before we go down. What can happen naturally if there's some tightness in the body? As we go down, the knees may want to bend to compensate. That usually means that either the backs of your thighs are tight, or maybe the back and spine itself is tight. If the knees start to bend, that is our signal to either straighten those legs in place, don't lock out, or turn your heels in. If the knees bend or stay bent while we're down in this position, it can twist and hurt your knees. So very important. Our body's always telling us what it needs. So starting with toes forward, knees are soft, legs straight but not locked out. We're flipping our tailbone back, beginning to lower down, and noticing as soon as those knees start basically buckling, they're buckling in. That's the body telling us, I'm not ready for this. If your body says no, listening to the body, turn the heels in, then the knees can bend a little bit. Let's lower our block down to the floor. Using the block for support, we can shift our weight forward, look down between the knees, relax the head and the neck. Just like the forward fold, imagining the crown of the head is lengthening towards your yoga block or towards the floor. Chin is into the chest. Big inhale, bigger exhale. Inhale, big exhale. One more, big inhale and bigger exhale. To safely exit the pose, let's all turn our heels in, bend the knees deep, come up to standing, bringing the yoga block with us. Turning the toes forward, let's meet at the top of the mat with the feet at the width of the pelvis bones. Holding the block in front of the body, stepping our right foot back, both legs straight, extending the arms up overhead. Dropping the chin down enough so that an egg could roll off our head. Only shifting the eyes up to maybe gaze along the horizon. Then lifting the chin in alignment with the drishti, with the gaze. From here, option to shift the eyes a little higher, maybe to where the wall meets the ceiling, and then lifting the chin, tracking with the gaze. Inhale, reaching up one more time, shoulders coming up towards the ears. And now exhale, bend the left knee, pull the block down, holding it in a warrior one position, drawing the shoulders back in alignment, stacked with our hips. Big inhale, bigger exhale. Let's hold the block in our right hand this time. As we inhale, it's like you're swimming. You're taking the palms down, parting the water, pressing back, thumbs facing down, reaching back behind the body, and then pressing into the block. Maybe we grip the block with the hand, secure it with the fingers, or attempt to grip that block between the wrists or even up a little higher into the forearms, spreading out the fingers like a five-pointed star. Inhale, draw the shoulders back and down. Breathe into the center of the chest. Exhale in place. Lift the chin, lift the gaze to neutral. Inhale and exhale. One more, big breath. Continue to press back. Press the shoulders away from the ears. Imagine that block weighs 20 pounds. Give it some weight. And as we imagine it has weight, maybe it draws us back a little more while we continue to lunge forward. Big breath into the center chest. Shoulders go back. And exhale. From here, let's straighten the left leg just halfway between a bent knee and a straight leg. Halfway between those two is where we're going to secure that knee joint. Let's flip our hips back and come forward, maybe just a fourth of the way, maybe a third of the way. Checking in with the upper back. Inhale, peel up through your collarbone and heart. Press back hard into that yoga block. You might start to feel some muscles getting really tense in your arms or shoulders or spine. This is definitely for to suggest some strength and stabilization to your body. Inhale into your heart, lift. Exhale, come down a little more. Option to hold it here or bring that block around into the most upright position, pressing it into the left thigh. Big inhale, bigger exhale. Holding this in pyramid position. Another inhale and another exhale. Keep the block on the thigh, secure it with your left hand. Let's bend our left knee, rising up from here, opening up to the right edge of the mat, and maybe inch the right foot back a little bit. Extending our right arm straight up towards the sky, nice big stretch, big inhale, and then exhale, slowly lower down. Take the right knuckles down into your low back, placing the top of the left hand and forearm on top of that block, keeping a heavy bend in that left knee. Pressing the arm into the thigh, and the thigh pushes up in towards your arm. Push down into the left heel. Keep the ball of the left foot on the floor and try to lift and wiggle your toes. Inhaling, drawing that right shoulder back a little more. Option to extend the right arm out in a natural alignment from the shoulder joint. Turn the palm up towards the sky. And now reach straight up, holding on to 100 helium balloons. Inhaling into the upper right lung, big inhale, and exhale. Shift the gaze towards the exit doors or towards a neutral position on the wall, only moving the eyeballs towards the right temple. And now turning the head in alignment, looking up towards the fingertips if it feels right for the head and the neck. Big breath in, and exhale. Let's slowly push off the block. Take the block into your hands. Swivel the left toe in. Checking in with the knees, making sure they're not locked out. It's a fine line in straightening and securing the knee versus locking out. So just making sure there's a little wiggle room. Inhale into the chest. Exhale, send the hips and tailbone back. Slowly begin to lower down, bringing the block straight down towards the floor for support. Now naturally, you know your body better than anyone else. So naturally, if you feel like your body is craving a bigger stretch, we could always lower the block down, or maybe even touch the floor and leave the block out of this altogether. Notice if your knees have a bend, if your knees are starting to buckle or bend, responding by turning the heels in, and maybe the legs stay straight with heels in, or bend the knees. Let's all shake the head yes, and turn it left and right. Exhale from the throat, allowing the breath to pull out and alleviate any tension or any stress that the body might be harboring. Exaggerating the exhale, breathe out from your throat, relax your jaw. Notice that your spine might be able to stretch more with the exhale. Big inhale, and exhale, lower down a little more. When you're ready, let's all turn the block up into the highest position, pressing into the block, supporting the spine. Let's inch our feet in. With our feet close together, we can hold on to our block and rise up to standing. Let's step to the top of our mat, bringing the block into the knees and thighs, seeing that the feet are the same distance apart as the ankles. Inhaling, both hands coming up. Exhale, sweeping down and around, sitting back into chair pose, palms facing up, drawing the shoulders back and down. Just for today, let's experiment with the throat and the upper neck energy. Lower the chin down, maybe even look down at your knees, and keep pressing the hips back. Keep lifting through the heart with the chin tucked in. Exhale all the way. Squeeze that block. Pull the muscles up in the pelvic floor. Exhale, pause with chin down, thighs in, pelvic floor up. And now 1, 2, 3, surprise. Pulling the navel in and up while we continue to squeeze into the block, lift through the pelvic floor and keep the chin down. This is called Uddiyana Bandha. It means the belly lock. Much easier. Exhale, squeeze in, pelvic floor up, chin down, 1, 2, 3, surprise. Pulling in and up. So it's meant to create like a sense of pressure building in the chest when your chin is down. Chin is in towards the chest. Imagine you're stretching the back of your neck. Exhale all the way. Keep the chin in. Squeeze the thighs. Pull up through the pelvis. 1, 2, 3, surprise breath. Belly in and up. Hold it there with the chin in. 3, 2, 1, and now relax. Let's take the block, place it down on the floor, and come up to standing. Kick it off. All right, did anyone feel any pressure? Or like that feeling? It'll build right here. If you didn't feel it, it's okay. That one I think is a little more challenging to get over time. All right, so from here, moving into tree pose, let's take our hands onto the hips for support. Touch the toes together. Let's lift our right heel and then turn the right heel in, touching the inside of your left ankle. So already here, the body gets to experience a lot of strength and support in the left supporting leg. Already the body is balancing here. We don't have to completely stand on one leg for balance. If you're curious to experiment with tree today, we could always slide that foot up onto the inside of the leg. Of course, we can give our body a little bit of a boost. So maybe we bend down and grab the leg and bring it in. If we're giving our body any type of boost, just be sure that when you release the leg, that you readjust your upper body and your posture. Notice where the body may want to go naturally, so the arms might stay close, or maybe our limbs expand out from the trunk of the body. We're lowering the chin to look down past our nose towards the floor. The gaze and the position of the neck and head are in unison. If we're thinking of lifting the head, let's lift the gaze first. So maybe only shifting the eyes towards the horizon, or maybe it's where the floor meets a wall. Then lifting the neck and head. Maybe we shift the eyes again, so we shift the eyes maybe to a center wall, or maybe to where the wall meets the ceiling. Then lift the neck and the head. One more big breath, inhale. And exhale, relax the whole body. So generally, looking up is going to create more busyness in the mind, more neural activity, and sometimes that can also make balance for the body harder because there's so much going on in the brain. It's hard for the brain to communicate just to the body. That's why when we meditate, every meditation is lowering the chin and looking down. You never hear anyone say, let's relax by throwing our head back and looking at the sky, right? All right, let's try this on the other side. Starting with toes together, we're lifting the left heel, swiveling the left knee to the side, resting your left heel on the inside of the right ankle. You could keep the ball of the foot on the floor. We could come onto the tippy toe of the left foot. Hands can be anywhere for balance. Taking the limbs away from your body is the equivalent of looking up, more neural activity. If you know that your balance feels really tested, put the hands on the waist or put them down. To start, we're looking down, gaze is past the nose, about a 45-degree angle to the floor. Shift the eyes only to where the floor is meeting a wall, then lift the chin and match the gaze. Breathe it out. Shift the eyes only to a center wall position, and now lift the chin to match the gaze. Shift the eyes to where the wall meets the ceiling. Head and neck follow. Option to move the arms in any natural way. Focusing on the breath, inhale into the center of the chest. At least another breath or two here with the gaze steady. When you're ready, relaxing the whole body and shaking it off. To safely come down to the floor, let's back a little bit away from the yoga block. Inhaling the arms up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive, hands down onto the thigh, pushing the hips back. Reaching towards our block with both hands. We can shift forward so that we feel the weight pressing straight down into our block. Let's slide one foot back, left or right, bending both knees, coming into that supported kneeling position. You might want to lift your front heel. That will also change the position of your knee. Let's sweep the other foot back. Take both feet over to one side. Sitting back, we'll put our yoga block just off to the side. Let's extend the legs in front of the body and scoot forward. We practiced this a little bit last week as we were working on chest openers and shoulders. the throat energy connects intimately to the energy in our shoulders as well. I've spoken about this before, but just a friendly reminder, when we're in the womb, early in gestation, we look like this when we are in the womb, and then at some point the shoulders drop away and the neck and this energy is revealed. So there's a belief in some lineages of yoga that it's at that point when this happens, that's when the soul slips into the body. I'm not saying that's exactly when it slips into the body, I'm just saying that's a belief system in yoga, okay? All right, let's take our block between the knees and the thighs. Again, we did this last week, so imagine like when a dog wants to drag its tail on the ground. This is necessary, I promise. This is a necessary movement. This is serious stuff, y'all. So serious. Okay. First thing first, we want to make sure that we're not compromising your rotator cuff, your hands, or your wrist, because yoga is about no pain, right? So you could stay here, fingertips forward, or you could come down onto your elbows. The next thing is your feet can stay flat or you can lift your toes. We're pulling the heels back so that we're able to create like this scoot through the buttocks and hips, which is going to tighten up the back of your knees, and it should tighten the back of your thighs, your hamstring, linking up into your hip. So pull those heels back or pull those feet back without moving the feet. It's going to move the tailbone and hips. Now from there, push straight down into your feet or heels and squeeze the block to begin hovering your hips. And any amount of pressure or intention to lift is going to give you that energetic benefit. From here, lift your chin, looking to where the wall meets the ceiling. Look towards the ceiling, and now lift the chin a little more, opening the throat. Inhaling, pressing the shoulders away from your collarbones and pushing down harder into the feet. One more inhale. Exhale, lower down. Let's come forward, extending the legs, keeping the yoga block. Push through the heels so that the toes stay lifted and the toes are pulling towards your kneecaps. Sitting nice and tall. Walk the hands back just behind the hips, keeping the fingertips forward. I have a fingertip-like touch. We're moving into a supported, seated fish. Very different from traditional fish pose, which can be very hurtful to your neck. It has some health benefits for the thyroid. That's what we use it for, thymus and thyroid. But this way is a lot safer. You're welcome to watch me first. I'm squeezing into the block. Pull the muscles up in the pelvis. It's a urethral squeeze. Pull up. The same muscles used to stop urination. Pull those muscles in and up. Bow the chin. Inhale into the chest and lift your ribs. And as you can see, it looks nothing like a fish, right? Because we're seated, it looks nothing like a fish, okay? The next option from here is to inhale again and then lift the chin to neutral. Next option, inhale, lift, and look towards the ceiling tiles. Keep squeezing the inner thighs, pulling up through the pelvis. Big inhale, bigger exhale. One more big breath. Shoulders press away from the ears, push down into your fingertips, and now relax. All right. So creating a lot of length in the upper spine is what we're working on there. If you're curious about a more restorative fish pose, I'd like for you to watch me first. So we've done this in the past where I will pick one pose and we do it in different planes of movement. This is one of those poses. So if you would like to try this, you are welcome to. You would put your block flat on the floor. And what I like to do is place it just under the armpit. So it's going to eventually support my shoulder blades. So it's almost like I'm gonna lie on my side, except I'm gonna come around like this. So here I am, this block is on the scapula, and then if you want, put your hand on your head to lower your head down to the floor. And now some of us can see where we get this fish pose from. So it's like a fish, right, with the stomach bulging out, or the ribs and gills bulging out. All right, we have a little bit of time. Again, this clock is not right. You actually have 5 more minutes than what it says. So we still have 10 minutes left in class. If you'd like to try it, go ahead and put the block down flat first. Reasoning for this pose, in case I need to sell it to you anymore. As we age, naturally, all of our spines want to do this. It's gravity, it's life. So this is to put counter pressure into those flat bones, which is going to help strengthen the spine and open your chest. So here we are, we're rolling over, supporting the upper shoulder girdle and upper spine with the elbows first. Keep one elbow on the ground, use the other hand to support the head and neck, and then slowly lowering the head towards the floor. Using your feet to maybe shift and squirm around a little bit to find wherever that sweet spot might be for your shoulders. Yoga blocks are one size fits most. It is possible that this won't feel good. You don't have to make it work. If it doesn't feel good, just take the block away and lie down flat on the floor. Once you get into the position, you do have the option to reach your arms over the head. Maybe even stretch both legs out straight on the floor. To protect your spine, continue to pull the toes towards the knees and press through your heels. Keep the feet, toes, knees as close together as possible. Inhale, breathe into the center chest. Exhale, soften. At least a couple more easy breaths here. The breath is very exaggerated in the chest. To safely exit the pose, let's lower our arms first beside the body. Bend both knees, both feet secure on the ground. Let the knees sway left and right. Rolling over onto one side. There is a small drop off coming off of the block. From our side lying position, we may be able to push that block out of the way and then come onto our backs, hugging the knees into the chest. From knees to chest position, rocking softly side to side. Let's extend our legs to the ceiling, pointing and flexing the feet. Roll out the ankles. you're ready, bend the knees, lower the feet. Let both knees sway over to the right and reach both arms over to the left. Completely wringing out the spine. Notice that the head and the neck will find a natural position. So maybe we look to our hands. We could look straight up to the ceiling, or we could look over the right shoulder. Let's turn our head to neutral, looking up at the ceiling. Bring the knees and the arms to neutral. Knees sway over to the left, arms reach over to the right. And again, allowing the head and neck to track in any direction. Let's take the gaze to neutral from this safe place, knees and hands, neutral position, allowing the body to move in any natural way, finding relaxation pose, embracing some stillness for at least a couple minutes while we focus on our breath. Bringing awareness to a breath in the belly as we inhale, allowing the breath to drop down very low into the body. Keeping as much of the breath in the belly, around the side waist, in the low back, keeping as much of the breath low in the body as possible. Notice naturally if your breath wants to fill up through the ribs into the heart. So this could stay as a belly breath. It could be 2/3 through the body, from the belly to the ribs, or it can be in 3 parts, belly, ribs, and heart. If you're looking to refine your practice around what you believe your needs to be today, for more grounding, maybe a little more calmness, keep the breath only in the belly. If you feel like you need a little bit more of a boost of energy, maybe need to clear out a brain fog, then let that breath come up to the heart and fully fill the lungs. Continue to refine the breath as our needs can change at any time, and we can change our mind at any time in response to those needs. Let's all deepen our breath, allowing the body to move in any natural way as we close the physical practice and take our time to come up into seated. from any seated position. Inhale, lift your chin, lift the head, look up. And then exhale, open the mouth, tongue out. 2 more lion's breaths. Inhale. Exhale, throwing the breath. Last one. Let's come to center with hands at the heart. Traditional closing gesture, big breath in. And exhale with a bow. Namaste.
Namaste.
Right, thank you for being here, everyone.
Thank you. I guess we're all going to be here next week, or we're planning on it.
I'm planning on being here next week. I'm planning on being here, but